Hey there, everybody. Today we are going to talk about an exciting new feature in the works from Adobe Photoshop. In this lesson, we're going to be using Photoshop Beta to talk about Generative Fill. And Generative Fill is a way to use AI as well as selections to customize photos and do some amazing things. So I'm going to give you the down and dirty of how to do that. To use this currently, you're going to need to go to your Creative Cloud desktop and find the Beta Apps section and download Photoshop Beta. Typically takes a couple seconds to download depending on your computer, and you will be good to go. Once you open up the beta version of Photoshop here, you're going to go ahead and open the images of your choice, and we're going to kind of go through these three images and just show you some really cool things to do. So as you can see, Adobe has released this kind of floating taskbar now, which is really nice. You can do select subject, remove background, you name it. But looking at this photo, let's say we wanted to make it a horizontal photo. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is hit C for my crop tool. And I want to make this, again, maybe more Instagram story version. So I'm going to go ahead and crop that out and then use my selection tool, which is M on my keyboard. And I'm going to highlight just the part that I want to fill. Now, when I do that, I can go ahead and do a generative fill. And when I click the generative fill button, it's going to ask me what I want to fill in. Well, in this case, I don't really want to decide. I want the computer to decide. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. And what this is going to do is run through a process of gathering royalty-free images and kind of thinking about the perspective of the image and all of that great stuff to go ahead and expand my picture plane. So hopefully we add a sky and some really nice stuff. So we'll give it a second to look, and then boom, there we go. Now, let's say I don't like this. And what it actually did was it created, and you can see just a little bit of a mask for me. So it is non-destructive here. But I can go through different variations here in my properties panel. And, I'm kind of digging this second version. So this is one amazing way you can do this. And then what we can also do is, let's say we want to add specific things. So if I use my marquee selection and I type hot air balloon and go ahead and let that go through, what's going to happen is it's going to give me a series of hot air balloons that I can cycle through and put into my image. And again, this is just a few clicks of a button. What I really like is it is non-destructive. It kept the original integrity. And you can see I have different kinds of air balloons here. If I wanted to be more specific, I could type a specific color of air balloon and go through there. I can even, in the beta version, say, hey, I really like that. That's great. Or if it looks really bad, we can take it away. So as you can see, we can do this for multiple images. And these are just images I pulled off of Adobe stock. Let's go ahead and expand these. And so we're going to make this a long horizon type image. And I want to add it on both sides. So I'm going to hold my shift key to do the little plus sign for my selection tool, add it to that side. Let's do the generative fill and let's see what it comes up with. Now, just like all new technology, this is in the works, this is in beta. You're still going to need a little bit of your artistry to kind of go through and adjust things. That's, again, why I really enjoy that it gives you masks, that you can play around with things. Again, using this subtly is really the way to go. And then as you can see, we have an extended kind of composition, and we can go through a bunch of different options here. And, all of these are really great. A little bit of weirdness over there. This one, I think, is the best, and there you go. So the last one is it can actually replace things within an image, and it will match the perspective. So in this case, I see that there's some strawberries in this bowl. I want to add a bowl of strawberries to kind of mimic this. So if I want to add something like strawberries, I would just select it. And you can use things like your lasso tool or your pen tool to do the selection. And we want to write bowl of strawberries. And we're going to let this run through, and we're going to see what happens. And so again, it's using AI to kind of determine the perspective, the angles of your picture, and what pictures it would need to match as you go through it. So as you can see, with a few clicks of a button, we have some strawberries. We have a little bit of skewing here. So I actually like this first image there, but it did not, again, it non-destructively built this, which is a really important thing. And then maybe we want to make this, let's see if we can make this a fork. Let's see what happens here. And go through that. Give Give it a few seconds. And again, not all of these are going to be perfect, but again, it's a pretty great way to ideate, to mock up things. That's pretty close. That's the coolest fork I've ever seen. That's a little skewed. I think this is the way to go. Again, not perfect, but something I can kind of go in and play with. And it's as easy as that. Generative Fill can, create images and customize your compositions for different social media or different platforms in a click of a button. Again, it's all about the story. It's all about the content of the work. And this is just going to speed that up. So I hope you enjoyed this quick lesson, and I hope you get to play around with Photoshop Generative Fill soon.